Welcome back. As we've said, a lot of eyes will be on tonight's Republican primary election results out of South Carolina's 7th congressional district. Why? Well, the contest actually marks the first time that a Republican congressman who voted to impeach President Trump in January of 2021 is facing a challenger backed by the former president himself. Joining me now is South Carolina Republican Congressman Tom Rice, who's trying to fend off a primary challenge from the Trump-backed state representative Russell Fry. Congressman, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I appreciate it.
Oh, my great pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, as you know better than anyone, South Carolina requires candidates to win 50% to advance. You are facing 6 other Republicans. So just to start off, what does success look like tonight? Does it just look like getting to the runoff?
Well, obviously, I'd like to win outright. I think it's going to be close.
Think you can? Congressman, think you can? Think you can win outright?
I think it's going to be close. We'll have to see. The early numbers look pretty good. And, you know, I don't think the Trump organization's advance team did too good of a job picking his endorsement. He misses 15% of his votes in the state house. He's not exactly everything he says he is, he's not. So it helps our chances.
Well, you told my colleague Vaughn Hilliard yesterday that Donald Trump is not the future of the Republican Party. And again, you voted for impeachment. You are now arguably in the fight of your political life. We know that you've received death threats even over that vote to impeach the former president. Do you regret anything about voting to impeach?
Absolutely not. You know, I knew when I took that vote that there would be some blowback, but you know, I'm hired to be the people's representative and to do the right thing, even when it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't vote. I don't vote to preserve my job. I vote to do the right thing. My allegiance is to the Constitution. I take an oath to preserve the Constitution. I've taken that oath 5 times, and the last time I took it was about 2 weeks before that vote, or a week before that vote. And I owe my allegiance to that Constitution and to no man, including Donald Trump.
Well, you take.
That was a direct attack on the Constitution.
You take me to my next question is, if you do, in fact, lose, Congressman, will you feel differently at all?
No, I said then and I say today that I did the right thing. I know I did the right thing. And I won't accept the consequences of that. And what I won't do is throw a 2-month temper tantrum and send a mob down to the Election Commission and have them beat up the Capitol or the police officers there until they come up with the right vote. No, January 6th was an affront to the Constitution, and I know I did the right thing. The Constitution is the source of our freedom and our prosperity. It was given to us by our forefathers, and I want our children and our grandchildren to benefit from it.
Well, we've said this now a number of times on the show, but it bears repeating. 10 Republicans voted to impeach the former president. You are one of them. Some of them are now retiring. 5 more facing primary challenges. Is the Republican Party still the party of Trump?
I don't think it ever has been the party of Trump. I think the Republican Party is based on a smaller government, more freedom, and less taxes.
But he was the leader of your party. I mean, he was president. He was the leader of your party, was he not? And is he still?
No, I mean, to the extent the president is the leader of our party, yeah, I guess you could say that. But I think our party is not about allegiance to a man. I think our party is about the principles that I mentioned and preserving the Constitution. Just
moments ago, you told my colleague Hallie Jackson on MSNBC, quote, "We need to get past Donald Trump." How should Republicans do that, Congressman?
Oh, I mean, it's already happening. You see more and more people that are question the things he's doing. You know, what he's doing right now with this, what I call the very presidential revenge tour, is unprecedented for anybody in any party in the history of America that I know about, that an ex-president would go and play in congressional primaries to try to purge the party of people that he disagrees with. That's absurd. So, and I think more and more people are facing up to that. And if you look at his poll numbers, they dwindle every day. I don't think he has a pathway to be president again. I think he is a narcissist. I think he craves attention. And as long as he can get attention, he will try to remain the standard bearer. But in the end. I think he's harmful for the Republican Party. I think more, to win an election, you can't just win the people that claim to be a Republican or a Democrat. You have to get independents too, and maybe even a few moderates on the other side.
It's interesting, Congressman. It's interesting because you're saying you don't think he has a path, and yet all of the conversations that I've had, a number of them with Republicans, they tell me they do think that he has a path. In fact, they think he could potentially clear the field. So what do you know that they don't know?
I think he has a path to the nomination. I think he would win, or he would likely win the Republican nomination, but I don't think he has a path to be president again.
You know, it's interesting.
I think he lost the first time by 5 million votes. And then in the meantime, he cost us the House. And then he lost the second time by 7 million votes. And then he cost us the Senate. I mean, how much more do we want to lose? And all of that was before January 6th.
Yeah.
So he lost a lot of his base on January 6th. I would say 10 or 15% of his base. If he couldn't win with that base, how's he going to win when he's lost 10 or 15% of the base? So I just see no pathway for him to be president again. The only thing that gives him hope is how badly the Biden administration has failed. And the American people recognize that, and that's why President Biden's poll numbers are in the tank. And if it weren't for that, Donald Trump wouldn't even be in a conversation, I don't think. The fact that President failing so miserably is what gives Donald Trump hope.
It's interesting because former Attorney General Bill Barr said earlier this year on the Today Show that it would be a mistake for Republicans to nominate Trump in 2024, but that he would support him if he's the nominee, that he would support the Republican nominee. Do you feel the same way? Would you, as a Republican, support whoever the Republican nominee is, even if it's Donald Trump?
The way that I would support Donald Trump, and I think there's no way he can win the presidency. I think in a primary, I would support pretty much anybody else to be the Republican nominee. But if he was the Republican nominee, the only way I'm not saying I would vote for the other side, but the only way I would support him is if he apologized to the country for what he did following the election and leading up to January 6th.
Okay, interesting. So that's not a no. Very quickly, I have to get your reaction to the January 6th committee hearings. There's a divide within the committee about whether they should make a criminal referral to the Department of Justice if they perceive there to be criminal activity. What say you?
I'm sorry, but I've been busy with my election, which is today, and I haven't seen the hearing, so I'm not really qualified to comment on that. So I applaud their activity in terms of, finding out the truth about these things. But as I said earlier on on MSNBC, that I worry. I said this at the time the committee was formed. I think Mr. McConnell in the Senate made a big mistake when he killed the bipartisan committee. And then when Ms. Pelosi wouldn't allow Republicans to put their members on the committee, I think that took away any hint at bipartisanship. Mm-hmm. So the committee is speaking, unfortunately, mostly to the people on the left. And I think it's going to be difficult to convince people on the right. I think one of your earlier speakers, as I was waiting, said the exact same thing. And I think they're preaching to the choir mostly right now.
And you did vote in favor of the committee, Congressman.
I voted in favor of the bipartisan committee. I did not vote in favor of this partisan committee that we have now.
Well, we really appreciate your joining us on what I know is a very busy day for you. Republican Congressman Tom Rice of South Carolina, thank you. Good luck. We do want to note that we did invite Rice's challenger, Russell Fry, to come on as well, but his team did not respond.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.